Alright, so I had a guy comment on my last video, and he was wondering, basically, he feels like he's okay to talk to girls, he feels like he's okay with having fun with them, maybe building up a little bit of attraction. He says the problem starts when the night ends, and he doesn't know what to say or do to get these girls to come home with them. Okay. So if you're in this position where you feel like, oh, you're talking to a girl, and then it comes time, you're like, how do I get this girl back to my place? Okay, well, the most obvious answer is just ask her. Just ask her to come home with you. Now, the reason why people don't ask is because they're afraid that they're going to mess it up. They're afraid that, oh, by asking this question, the girl's going to now think, oh, you just want to sleep with me or something like that, or, it's just going to mess up the interaction for you. So there's a little bit of a confidence issue here too. So for these guys that are like, don't know what to do in this situation, because it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. It really shouldn't be that hard, especially if the girl's really into you. So for those guys out there that are total beginners, and guys that are looking for a little bit more consistency as well, I'm going to give you a step-by-step process that I use to bring girls home. Now, obviously, social interaction is crazy. Different things happen. So this is not a strict step-by-step process by any means. But if you have no idea what to do, this is going to be a good framework for you. It's going to allow you to test to see if a girl is into you, and then on top of that, it's going to give you the right way to ask her to come home with you. Okay, so the first thing, obviously, I mentioned is have a solid interaction ahead of time. Before you ask for a girl's phone number, before you ask her out on a date, before you ask her to take her clothes off, having a solid interaction, making sure she's attracted and interested in you, and comfortable as well, is super important. And on top of that too, I'd say when it comes to asking a girl to come home with you, I'd say it's more important for her to be comfortable with you than attracted. I'm not saying attraction isn't important, it's super important, but I've had nights where I knew a girl was more attracted to another guy than me. She was just more comfortable with me, and that's why she ended up coming home with me in the end. So I would say comfort is super important, but definitely she has to be attracted to you in some way, shape, or form. So how do you know that a girl's attracted to you? Okay, well, the second step is to move her around to different locations, okay? If you're out at the bars or you're out at a club or something like that, and the girl's like following you around to different parts of the club, or she's coming with you to different clubs or parties or bars, it's very likely that she's into you. Then to another location, it's more likely that she's going to follow you to another location, and that could be your place. Okay, especially if she's like, ditching her friends and that sort of thing. Typically if I meet a girl that I like, we'll end up going to a couple places together. Like we'll end up going from one bar to another bar or something like that. And then from there, maybe we'll bounce to my place after. Okay, but bouncing them to different areas is important. If it's at the end of the night, I would recommend going to like a diner or some late night place to eat if you don't have anywhere to go. But try and find like an after party. An after party is really good, especially if you met the girl at like 1:30 and she's probably not going to come home with you after meeting you just for 20 minutes or something like that. So maybe an after party is good, so that gives her a little bit of time to get comfortable with you. Although I have had girls go home with me within 5 minutes of walking into the club. The next step is to get physical. And this is not a straight rule. I'm not talking about, you don't have to be like making out with them or any of that sort of stuff. They should be comfortable with you in their space. So if they're kissing you and touching you, that's really good, but not every girl is down for PDA, and honestly, like, I don't want to be that gross couple in the club making out in the back. So if you just are kind of like closer to her, or you're being affectionate towards her and she's cool with that, something that she wouldn't be cool with some random dude or her friend doing, then you're probably in a good spot. The fourth step is have a reason. So what do you actually say to bring a girl home? Well, the easiest thing is just say, hey, let's go back to my place and hang out. But for a lot of women, if you say this, they're going to be like, oh, well, what are we going to do when we go back to your place? Okay, well, now you have to have a reason. To have something that's that just doesn't involve the two of you having sex, something platonic, where you can just entertain yourselves at your place. So whether it's like maybe you want to show her some music that you have, or maybe you have some pictures to show her, get a drink, smoke some weed, maybe you have some games that you would like to play. Hell, I even brought a girl back to play Mario Kart with me, okay? Like, there's tons of stuff that you could have. Maybe you have some friends over, you have a little after party going on. It's any of those sorts of things. Sometimes it just gives them a little bit to tell themselves in their head, so they, okay, well, we're going to be doing this. And for a lot of girls that you get, they're not 100% committed to sleeping with you. Some will be, but a lot won't. And so what you need to have happen is you need to have a situation where you guys can relax, hang out, and then see where things go. Step 5 is to say it with confidence. Okay, the way you say things is a lot more important than what you're saying. So if you say it like, would you like to come back to my place and hang out? It's okay if you don't want to, like, it's totally fine. like that you're asking like a little bitch. Okay, if you ask like that, she's going to be creeped out. She's not going to want to go home with you. If you say it confidently, though, like, hey, let's go back and hang out and have a drink. Or, hey, let's go back to my place, we'll have a drink, and then I'll take you home after. That sounds a lot more confident than the first guy because, well, also, too, it's kind of good to let them know that they're going to be getting back home safe. So I always have, like, a plan for it to happen. So that's another big thing that you have to do, too. It's actually a step that I forgot, which is, handle logistics, okay? So if she has friends, if she has things that are, that she had obligations, maybe she's meeting her friends at a diner later, maybe she has to get home by a certain time, who knows? But as long as you talk to her and figure out like what her plan is for the rest of the night, then you're able to handle these objections. You're able to, they're not necessarily objections, they're just things that she has to do. And so like if, oh, well, I don't have a coat. Oh, it's okay, I got a coat. Or I got to meet my friends. Cool, we'll meet up with your friends and then we'll go after. Like there's a lot of stuff that you can do to handle this type of situation that, a regular guy's just going to give up after. So if it comes to this, find a solution to each of these problems that she's having and then let her know that she's going to be getting home okay and safe. The final thing is that if she says no, either one of two things is happening. Either she's not that into you or she just needs more time. Like let's say the example where you meet a girl really late and she won't come home with you. Well, typically girls need I would say they need a few hours to spend with you. Honestly, if you expect a girl to come home with you because she likes you within 10 minutes, well, she might be attracted to you, but like I said, she needs a little bit, more comfort. She needs to be comfortable with you. So spending that extra couple hours is going to make a huge bit of difference. I remember there was one girl that I brought home a few months ago where she wouldn't come home with me at 1:30. I think we met at around 1. So we went to an after party. She wouldn't come home with me at 2, wouldn't come home with me at 3. And then I don't even think she was coming home with me at 3:30. And it was like finally around like 4:30, after we'd been out for forever, she came home with me. And then we had sex. It was fun. It was great. I was honestly a little tired. But sometimes that can happen, or like if a girl's having a good time, you don't want to ruin that fun. You want to keep the fun going, lead them to more fun. And, at the end of it, then, it ends up at your place. But like, don't force the situation. Don't force a girl to come home with you that's like having a good time or having a really, really good thing. Just let it happen. And then in the end, she's going to have to go home at some point and it should be with you. Okay. The other thing too is that if she doesn't want to go home with you, it's fine. Don't get angry. Don't get pissed off. Maybe she likes you a lot. She just doesn't want to sleep with you that night. Or maybe she, has a rule about that sort of thing or something like that. I don't know. Whatever it is, the high value mentality is to not get pissed off about it. If you're the kind of guy that's going to get angry that she won't come home with you, then she's probably never going to come home with you. So that's what I have to say about this, you guys. If you made it to the end, consider subscribing. I come up with videos like this every single week. If you're interested in my mentorship program, send me an email, TheSingleGuy2017@gmail.com. That's for my one-on-one coaching program. That's where I take guys that are struggling, that are really trying to take their results up to the next level, or if you feel like you're still pretty good, but you're just kind of plateauing or you need some extra help, I'm the guy to call, man. I help guys out with this all the time. So thanks a lot, you guys. Good luck out there.